Welcome back to another episode of the Liberated Woman podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode with downloads of feminine wisdom to support you on your path to liberation, breaking ancestral chains and freeing you from the lineage, the stories that come through your lineage, the paradigms that come through your ancestors, the traumas that come through your ancestors, so that you can liberate yourself and create a new story, a new paradigm for your legacy, for the legacy that you have here on this planet Earth at this time, for your future generations, for the people around you, your community, your family, your partners, your friends, your colleagues. This work ripples out into the collective. And I am so in awe of the women who say, I am a cycle breaker. I am the one has decided that this story ends with me. And so I really want to just give you so much deep gratitude and honor for the work that you do in this space, for the way that you are breaking these chains, for the way that you are creating a new story for your future generations and for yourself. This is powerful, powerful work. And not everybody has the ability to do this work. Not everybody was placed on this earth at this time to be that cycle breaker, because it really is a role that is so very deeply rooted in the gnosis that you came here to this planet at this time to create a ripple into the collective, that you are doing this not just for yourself. And it is a huge responsibility, and it comes with a lot of trust and a lot of work. But within that work, there is so much power, so much play, so much sovereignty, so much joy, so much expansion, that it's just so magical. So I really, really feel a deep gratitude into my heart for the women that are doing this work. Today, I want to share with you a recent experience that I had in a plant medicine ceremony with a new medicine that I've never worked with before. It's not the first time that I've sat in plant medicine ceremonies. In fact, I've sat in multiple plant medicine ceremonies over the years, but this one was a new medicine that I sat with for the first time, and it was a really beautiful experience, and I'd love to share it with you. And what it taught me about a new revolution, a new era that I feel I am calling into my work, into my space. So on Saturday night, I sat with peyote, which is a cactus, otherwise known as hikuri, that is grown in the deserts of Mexico, in the northern deserts of Mexico. And I'm currently in Mexico. For those of you that are following along, I'm currently in Mexico. We've been here for about 3 months now, my partner and I. And it's been an incredibly healing, expansive experience to land in San Cristobal de las Casas, which is a mountain city, a mountain town that really holds a lot of history, holds a lot of depth, and holds a lot of magic. And since we've been here, we've really been expanding into the truth of who we are, like more and more unraveling more ways of coming into our liberation, more ways of revealing the truth. And so when the opportunity to sit with peyote, which is known as a grandfather medicine, has a masculine quality to it. And I think that we can argue that some plants very much have an energy, ayahuasca, very feminine, very Shakti, very snake-like energy. And you can say that mushrooms have a like childlike energy, niño, very like inner child, kind of playful energy that shows you a lot of your inner child traumas to heal. And peyote is a little bit more gentle, a little bit more holding, because it has this grandfather energy. And I got the sign to do this ceremony when I was in the garden that I did the ceremony in. It's a garden that belongs to a woman who has created this space of community, of connection, and it's based around feminine principles. And I was in that garden for a singing circle the week before. And as I was moving in the singing circle, we were doing a movement exercise. I got a very clear message, like, talk to her about doing a peyote ceremony here. And she was leaving Mexico. She left on Monday. And so I had a span of a week to do the ceremony. And I just got this very clear message from God. Talk to her, do the ceremony. There's going to be something magical about it. So I spoke to her. We had a very lengthy, deep conversation about, what it means to sit in the ceremony, what might happen. It's a new medicine for me. Like, how might I experience it? What might I receive? What wisdom might I receive from sitting in this ceremony with her? And after the conversation, I felt very safe in her presence. I felt like, yes, I want to do this as a one-to-one experience with you. I really want to dive deep into this connection. And over the course of that week, I had so many beautiful messages coming in as synchronicities. And this is the thing, right? When you're on this path to liberation, when you're upon this path of awakening, when you're upon this path of healing the stories that live in your ancestral lineage, when you're opening your heart and you're opening yourself, you will start to notice these signs, these synchronicities that is sent to you by source, by God, by divinity, to move you into a new place, to move you into a new paradigm. Like, great spirit, great mystery knows so much more than we, as our small self, as our ego self, will ever know and understand as humans living on this planet Earth, because you are so multidimensional and so multifaceted. And I kept getting these synchronicities. And a lot of the messages that I was getting was around the power of women in the way that we have this like unspoken understanding of each other, this telepathy, this energetic telepathy. And I really believe that when we came from our star ancestors, when we came from other places like Lyra, Sirius, when we came from the Palladians, Atlantis, we actually communicated more telepathically. I really believe that language was kind of formed and language was created to cast spells upon us. And we didn't need language in the past. We just had this like heart to heart connection, womb to womb connection that was very clear. And I kept getting these messages over the course of the week leading up to the ceremony. The Friday before the ceremony, I was sitting in the Thursday before the ceremony. I was holding my regular weekly women's circle here in San Cristobal de las Casas. Every week, I have beautiful, powerful women coming to sit with me in circle, and we journey through different themes each week. Last week was the theme of forgiveness. And we had such mind-blowing things coming from the circle, notions such as we feel that women really should be living together, raising the children together with the men as this like protection around us. And that actually, like, the matriarchy, the matriarchal society was the way that the world used to be before the patriarchal ways came in, before we were separated, before the patriarchy said, you have to come through man to get to God. And as I was listening to the women sharing this, I really felt it in my womb and my heart and my soul that, yes, this is something I've been speaking about for so long, and other women are waking up to this, and we want to create this new paradigm, this new story together. You don't need to do this alone anymore. Your liberation is not just for you. It holds such a collective ripple out into the world. Like, I talk about it all the time. It's for your legacy. Like, your liberation is for your lineage and your legacy. You're the bridge. You're the one that said, I'm the cycle breaker. So we had all these things coming up in the women's circle on Thursday. Friday, I went to a cacao ceremony, and it's our friends. We go to this cacao ceremony very regularly. It's a beautiful community run by Mexicans. And in the cacao ceremony, they passed around a plant tincture called Artemisia, which is grown in the north of Mexico also, and on the border with California. And I took some of this tincture, and I instantly had like a very deep reaction to it. It was purging a lot through me. It clears out your liver, which is related to the emotion of anger. It clears out your kidneys, which is related to the emotion of fear and anxiety and worry. And it also helps to clear out a lot of your intestines, where we know where parasites live, where bacteria lives, where things that kind of feed off your energy live. And so as I was purging this, a friend of mine, she comes to my women's circles regularly. She just, again, telepathically understood what I was going through, came over and started to massage my back. It was the most beautiful thing. And I let her do it. And I was really feeling like the sisterly presence, the sisterly love. And then she held me, like I leant back into her and she held me. And this is something that I have never experienced from another woman. I've always been the one holding the space and desiring like a deeper intimacy with women in this non-sexual way that is like the feminine of the sisterhood. like the sisterhood that we used to have that was so strongly ingrained in the red thread, in the weave. And my name means red thread. My spirit animal is the spider. Like the webs and the weave and the spinning is so deeply rooted in my cellular system that this felt like a beautiful experience to be held by another woman. And the same with the peyote ceremony. So the next night, I was in a ceremony being held by another woman. And during the ceremony, I asked with my prayer and my intention, because it's so important when you're working with the spirit of plants that you pray, that you offer tobacco to the fire, that you give your full presence, your full prayer, and your full attention to connecting and creating a relationship with that plant so that it can work through you. It's not a magic bullet. It's not the silver bullet. It's not gonna cure you, but it's gonna show you things that you are ready to witness and receive. So with prayer and intention, I asked Papa Peyote, Grandfather Peyote, to show me how can I lead from love. Show me what love is. Connect me back to my divine God-given birthright to be love, not to give love, not to receive love, not to do things for love, not to exchange for love, but just to be in the essence of love. In my lineage, in Judaism, in Hebrew, the word la'ahov, it's a verb. It means to love. It's a masculine word. And it's an action-taking word. It's the verb to love, to do something for somebody else, to do the dishes, to change the bed sheets, to give them affection, words of affirmation, buy them a gift, tell them you love them. All of these comes from that masculine to do, la'ahov, to love. But in the feminine, in Hebrew, ahava, is just to be in an essence, a state of love. And so much of what they want us to believe in this world, so many of the spells that they've cast upon us in this world is to live from an essence of fear, right? They keep us in a state of fear because when they keep us in a state of fear, they control us. And when they control us, we lose our sovereignty. And when we lose our sovereignty, we lose our power. And when we lose our power, we lose our truth. We lose ourselves in the matrix, in the illusion, in the Maya. And the majority of the world is lost, so lost, and living from a state of fear. And what is the opposite of fear? What always triumphs fear is love. So I asked the medicine, show me how to lead from love. And I sipped the cactus. It's a powder and you drink it in a drink with hot water. It's very bitter. And sometimes you need to experience the bitterness to feel the sweetness. So as I sipped it and I felt it going down my throat and into my body, I laid back on the ground, connected to Madre Tierra, Mother Earth, Pachamama, and I allowed myself to surrender to this question. Show me how to lead from love. Like, I'm ready. Open me up, crack my heart open. Show me what that means. And so many questions were like leading me on this journey of what is love truly? What is it? We're taught that to receive love, we have to do certain things. We have to tidy our rooms. We have to sit nicely at school. We have to complete certain tasks. We have to be kind. We have to give certain parts of ourselves away to receive that love in return. And what does it mean to receive love? What does that look like? One person might receive love in a certain way that is very different to somebody else. And then when we come into these relationships with other people, the way we're exchanging love is so different that, I might receive love by somebody showing me that they love me by giving me acts of service, doing the washing up for me or folding my clothes or having dinner ready for me. Maybe that's my version of love. In fact, part of that is my love language. And for another person, it might be they really need those words of affirmation because they never received it or they so desired it to feel a sense of love. So we all have these different versions of what it means to exchange and be and receive and give love. But really, underneath that is the essence of love. When we're in a state of love, fear can't come in. The enemy can't come in. They can't access us and break us down when we're vibrating from a frequency of love, and love is a revolution, and love is liberation. And as I was journeying with the peyote, this kind of kept unfolding for me. And I took another dose of the peyote around 3 in the morning. It's an overnight ceremony. We had the fire. And around 3 in the morning, I took another dose. And then I went in deep and I felt it in my body. And I felt grief. Because how can you know what true love is when you don't feel grief? And the grief that I felt was this deep separation of the sisterhood, of the matriarchy, of the women that used to have this beautiful bond so tightly wound through the red thread that we just felt each other, understood each other, loved each other. There wasn't the witch wound, there wasn't the sisterhood wound, there wasn't this mistrust and this hate. There was just pure love, co-creation and collaboration over competition. And it felt so good in our wombs. It felt so good in our souls. The children were raised by many mothers, not one. A child had many mothers, many aunties, many grandmothers in the community, in the village. And we're waking up to this remembrance. So many women who are mothers realize they can't do this on their own, and we were never meant to do this on our own. But the patriarchy came in and said, to get to God, you've got to come through man, and we're going to cut the feminine out. We're going to dismiss you and destroy you. And the temple of the feminine arts were destroyed, and the matriarchy was destroyed. And women feel this so deeply in their cellular system. When you wake up to the separation, you realize how deeply this lives in your body and how painful it is. And how do we feel it? It's such deep grief and sadness. But feeling that depth of grief and sadness is so difficult. It's such a hard pill to swallow. It's so hard to feel that level of hurt and pain in the heart that we tend to mask it with anger and resentment towards the masculine, towards the patriarchy. And I know because I've been angry towards the patriarchy nearly all my life. And how has it played out? I ended up in an abusive relationship. I kept getting shut down by male bosses. I had my womb shut down, my voice shut down. I was abused. I didn't have space to take up my creative expression. I wasn't able to be liberated in my thoughts and my voice and my expression because I kept getting shut down, because that was the manifestation of all my anger and my resentment. I had a difficult relationship with my father that I've had to work through. And, so many women experience this, and it plays out in our relationships. It plays out with our children. It plays out in our jobs. It plays out in our relationships with other women. And what I really took away from this journey, what I really took away from this ceremony, is that love is a frequency. It's a state of being. It's the feminine. It's ahava, not leahov, not to love, not to do something for love, not to be a certain person to receive love, not to put on a mask, not to hide away or to be a certain thing, but to be in that essence of love is so deeply feminine. And what is love? Love is kind, it's nurturing, it's caring, it's motherly, it's soft, it's gentle, but it's also boundaries and fierceness and warrior and deep alignment to truth, to sovereignty, to liberation. And so as I'm kind of processing what this means and realizing such a deep power of sisterhood and co-creation over competition, I know that I am here to lead a global revolution of liberation for women. It's something I've been speaking about for so long, but I've been playing it small because liberation is so hugely overwhelming and everybody wants to feel liberated, but we don't really know what that feels like in our body because they cast these spells on us to keep us in shackles, to keep us in chains, to keep us in fear. And so I'm here for your liberation. I'm here for a revolution. I'm here for a global movement. And I can feel this energy moving through me so beautifully. I know that things are going to start shifting and changing, not in just in my world, but in the collective, in my relationship with my partner, with the masculine, in my relationship with other women, in my relationship with my mother, with my friends, with my family, in my business. I know there's going to be a huge ripple collective. And I am so grateful to God for giving me the message that I needed to sit in this ceremony, for the garden, for the fire, for the dogs that were present and protecting me the whole time. They let me like sleep on them. They were beautiful. Grateful to the women who held the ceremony for me, to the feminine, to the separation so we can come back into wholeness. And if this is landing with you and you really are feeling these words like rippling through your body, if you feel these words are rippling through your system, then you are the cycle breaker, because you know what it was like to be separated. You were there. You experienced this in another lifetime. I know it. I know if you feel this, that you were there with me. We were there, sister. We were there. And this is our time now. Like the feminine is rising, the liberation is happening, and we are about to be in such a huge movement I can't even express. So I'd love to know from you, like, what is moving through you? What is rippling through you? What do you feel in your body? Just like take a moment, close your eyes and take a breath. And as I'm speaking these words, just feel where they land in your body. Notice the constriction, the restriction, the contraction, the opening, the expansion. Just notice where it is in the body without judgment or analyzing it from the masculine mind. Just feel it in the feminine. Let it be. And if you're someone who's like on the precipice of this breakthrough and you know that you're here to break those chains, and you know that these patterns that have been playing out in your life, they're not serving you anymore. And you're like, I'm ready. I'm so tired of these stories. I'm so done with this. I'm ready for a new revolution. I'm ready for a global shift in my being. Then come into my world, sister. Let's shake this shit up. Ancestral healing, liberation. I'm here to support you to go through that, because I can take you as deep as I've been. And sister, I've been deep, and I continue to go deep, because I am not here to stay shackled, and neither are you. We are here for a global revolution of liberation. And if you are with me and you feel this in your body and you know that you want to break these cycles, come and play with me in my world, because I promise you we're going to shake some shit up and shift this for you. And it is my life's work to see you liberated. There are several ways that we can do this. You can come and join me in my free Cycle Breakers Telegram group, totally free. Come and create community with other women who are breaking chains and liberating themselves. I drop all sorts of information in there, riffs, podcast episodes. Come and join us. I will post that in the show notes. If you want to go a little bit deeper into exploring like an aspect of how you can break these chains, I've got a 3-day journey coming up in August called Reclaim Your Sovereignty. This 3-day journey is for you to really explore specifically how you came into this world through your birth script. So the conception, your conception story, how you came into this world and how you were born. And we're going to dive like really deeply into that, and then really understand like why some of these patterns might be playing out ancestrally because of what was passed down to you through the womb. This is like womb healing stuff, birth script work. And the first 2 days, we're going to dive into that. And then you're going to have an opportunity to experience an embodied breathwork journey on the 3rd day. I'm going to post the link for that. That's on the 19th to 21st of August. And if you want to go even deeper and come and experience a one-to-one journey with me, you can choose ancestral healing or breath work. And if you're looking for like deeper held mentorship and guidance and support, then my 8th month liberated women journey is the one for you. And this is the journey that's like my highest level of mentorship, where you get like high proximity access to me in a way that you can really start to break those chains. So you get 2 calls a month, you get Telegram support in between Monday to Friday, you can message me in between. I set you soul work for integration, because honestly, if there's anything that you need after ceremony, and I consider my journeys with you and my sessions with you ceremonies, you need integration. It's taken me 4 days after this ceremony to even start speaking about it and like understand and fathom what happened in that ceremony and come back online and come back on a screen. You need time to integrate. That's why I set you soul work in between these sessions. And you'll get 10% off any journeys or workshops, circles, etc. during your time with me in the container. So all of those I'm going to post in the show notes for you if you want to come and play in my world and shake this shit up and break ancestral chains and liberate yourself. I am so excited to serve you. I love you, sister. I can't wait to get back on another episode with you again. For now, have a beautiful, beautiful day.